Well, it's Pastor Bill with a weekly update. Last week, I mentioned how endings can bring about new beginnings. But before I say more about that, with all the change in transition in the church world in general, I think it's important to recognize anchors that remain that really matter to us. Impact version 2.0, if you will continue to have biblical teaching. Investing in the next generation is a non-negotiable. We believe in authentic worship. Missions matters. Benevolence is something that the Bible tells us to do. And I don't think that's a complete list. I just think sometimes it's important for us to say things. And one of the things that need to be said is those are anchors that we believe in, and those are things that will remain. But there are also new beginnings, new opportunities. And one of the things we've really been talking about, one of the things we've really been praying about that we want to invite you into is moving toward a more meaningful community connection. We would love to see our ministry have daily touch points with our community. I get excited thinking about that, but I really believe this is something that we as a community of believers need to pray about, because I think God is likely to give some of that direction to you that are listening to this, and you that gathered together with us on June 6th and as we talk through some of these things. And so I just want to invite you to pray and to listen for the Lord's leading. And as God gives you direction, don't be afraid to share that with other people. I think another piece, and I guess we've started it, but I just want to continue the direction, and that is moving people toward these smaller churches, these micro churches, house churches, home churches, whatever we end up calling them or want to call them. But those are places where people find family. It's where you get a tribe of believers that you're on a journey of life and a journey of faith with. They don't replace larger gatherings, but they do serve some different purposes. It's very clear to me, and many in the church world, but very clear to me that we need to have deep biblical fellowship if we're going to disciple people well. You can only truly disciple people in the context of deeper relationships. If we're going to equip people, if we're going to accomplish the things that God has called us to, then we need to empower disciples to help make other disciples. We need those micro communities that allow people to grow, ask questions, right? To practice spiritual gifts, deepen their faith, and provide pastoral care for one another. Some of the things that, like the Apostle Paul, for instance, in 1 Corinthians 14 talks about, can only happen in those smaller gatherings. And so that's just something that is on my heart and on my mind, and something that I want us to continue to invest time and energy toward, and we want to continue to invite people into. We're going to talk about those things and some other things on June 6th, but I just want to make mention of those and invite you to that time together at 10 o'clock. We are going to have a message, and then after the message, take a break and then move into a town hall meeting. If you have questions that you want us to address at that town hall meeting, if you want us to talk about in upcoming videos, if you want us to add to the fact sheet online, please write those at admin@impactkc.com. That's admin@impactkc.com, so we can prepare thoughtful answers to each one of the questions that you have. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.